Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for listening to today's episode of the podcast or clicking on today's video. Today's episode is a little bit different. It is a throwback segment from a past episode. Full episode is going to be linked in the description. It is an absolute banger, but we don't have a full episode today because I was not able to film due to Hurricane Ian. For those of you who don't know, the state of Florida and exactly where I happen to live was completely destroyed by Category 5 near Category 5, Category 4 near Category 5 hurricane last week. And it has displaced a lot of people, destroyed a lot of homes, property, streets flooded, and it's a week later and things are still pretty bad. And I was not able to get to a video I recorded last week, and hopefully we'll be able to get another episode from this week to get one out next week. But my heart goes out to anybody who is going through anything at all related to Hurricane Ian damages in any state, especially Florida. If anybody needs anything, please reach me on Instagram at Derrik. Shoot me a DM. I'm in the area, so if anybody needs help, I'm here. But with that said, guys, enjoy today's episode. Definitely leave a like and share your thoughts in the comments. I want to see some more comments on YouTube, so definitely drop the thoughts in the comments. And if you're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, leave a review. We appreciate your patience. We love you guys, and we appreciate all the support. And with that said, guys, let's get right into the show.
Somebody reached out and said, hey, I'm starting my agency. We just hit $10,000 a month in recurring revenue. I'm super excited about that, but I'm dealing with imposter syndrome. And I told him, hey, I just was dealing with this yesterday. And then another person chimed in. Then Derrik said, I've dealt with this every 90 days. I go through this. And It's something that we all go through. And there's these stories that we tell ourselves that just aren't true. And we don't realize that there's other people actually going through it. And you can go into a really dark place if you don't get your mindset right.
With that all said, not only do I deal with the position every 90 days, I deal with it every single day. I do got to say that. It is a struggle every single day. But abundance mindset, Gary, I have a couple questions for you around that stuff. It's actually something that I've always struggled with significantly. Why is there a million marketing agencies out there, right? Some people do really well, some people don't. But the beauty of business is that there's a lot of room for a lot of different businesses, even in the same space, all to win in their own way. How, or what rather, makes an abundance mindset so important? And even more so, how do you go about getting an abundance mindset if you're someone like me who's always struggled realizing how much abundance there is actually out there?
Yeah, so first, let's just define what a fixed mindset is. So someone who has a fixed mindset is someone who thinks that someone else winning equals them losing. And that just isn't true. So when I started out, I used to do these kind of things. I would say, this is our secret sauce. We're not going to share it. We can't tell anybody how we do our process. We're not sharing it with anybody. We aren't going to talk to any other marketing companies. We're not going to put anything out there into the world or on internet or on social media that people could see how things might work or how our back end works or what we do or how we do it. And it was really just a fixed mindset. I thought that the world was limited and that there was only a limited amount of opportunities and that everybody was going to steal all my ideas, everything that I wanted to do. And what turned it for me was one day I started to share some of the things that we did, and people really liked it. And it actually brought us business. And so I shared a little bit more and a little bit more. And eventually what I realized, Derrik, was even if I shared every nook and cranny and every single secret that I had, and I broke it up into 30-minute videos on YouTube, if someone wanted to go reconstruct that by listening to YouTube, they deserve it. They were going to figure it out anyways, right? Like, you're not going to go out. People aren't going to go out and reverse engineer what Gary V or Patrick Bet-David created, even though they've put everything that they've done online. You're not going to go recreate that by listening to all their YouTube videos. It's too hard. And that's why there's things like courses and things like that out there, is because it helps unify the information. But long story short, once I changed my mindset to an abundant mindset, which means that there's unlimited opportunities, and a lot of the opportunities no one's tapped into yet. From there, I was able to actually start to see where there was gaps in the industry and create opportunities for my company that no one else was competing in. And so for the last 5 years or 6 years, Derrik, and I'm very, very spoiled, I literally don't feel like we've had competition. That's not to say that we don't lose clients sometimes. And that's not to say that there aren't a boatload of dental marketing companies out there. It's just the way that we go about things and the way that we deliver results and the way that we solve problems. I just don't see anybody else solving them that way. And then when someone does come along and they are going to start solving them that way, that's awesome. I'm super pumped for them. Hopefully by then we've already had 6 or 7 or 8 iterations on what we're doing right now. Now, I will share this with you. If you stop growing as an entrepreneur and you stop growing your business and you stop trying to get better, the world does become a fixed place. And that's because you kind of die out. But if you're always creative and you're always working and improving, the world has tons of opportunity that we haven't even touched yet.
So I have to stop you right there for a second, because the way you ended that resonates with me a lot. Look, having an abundance mindset is great, but the problem is if you have an abundance mindset, or rather when you don't have an abundance mindset, you have to realize that in order to make that switch, it starts with you. Right. Mm-hmm. And so if you don't have it clear here, then what's going to happen? Your team is going to start seeing it that you don't have that abundance mindset. It's going to have that trickle down effect, right? Where if you don't believe that there's enough opportunity to 10x your business, how are you going to get your team members to believe that you could 10x your business? Then no one's going to want to work with you. It's all going to be the bare minimum of just like chugging along. So I guess, how do you tactically go about, like, what tips do you have of realizing that there is so much abundance out there for somebody who's in a position where they feel like they have nothing to do, where there is an opportunity for them and they don't know what to do, how to do it, or where to go, and they feel like they're trapped, they have a fixed mindset? How do you actually get out of that tactically?
Oh man. I just say you go to the world and just look. Like for us, we do dental marketing. So there's 200,000 dentists. And then I look at all the dental marketing companies that are out there. There's enough dental clients, even though 200,000 is not a lot, for most of the people who are really competing, for a lot of them to be successful. So I bring on one of my podcasts, I have Dental Marketing Theory. I bring on people that you would look at, Derrik, and you'd say, that's a direct competitor to Gary. He's bringing on dental marketing companies onto his podcast.
Yep.
But I don't look at it that way. I look at it as, hey, he offers a service. He does it in a totally different way. He has a totally different mindset about it. Anybody who wants to work with him probably doesn't want to work with me, and vice versa. And that's great. How can I learn from him? And he calls me on the side and says, Gary, how are you growing your agency? How are you structuring your team? How are you doing this? And I'm happy to share that with them. And anybody who has an open mindset like that, I'm happy to work with them. I work with multiple different dental marketing companies, and they all have their own little flair and their own approach. And that's great. And I think that's really healthy. And then there are people out there that they're probably like, nope, you're a direct competitor. I don't want to talk with you. That's totally fine. I'm fine with that too. And so for me, it's just going out into the world and talking with people. And the best people to talk to are people who are doing exactly what you're already doing, because they're going to have things for you that you won't believe, it'll rocket ship you ahead years in learning curve, because you're just talking with somebody who's in the same industry as you. So that would be number one. That would be the first thing that I would do.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that's really valuable. It really is. And tactically speaking, if you have that abundance mindset, or rather the lack thereof, you have to look at the market that you're in and see, wait, there is, like you said, 200,000 dentists. Even if there was 200,000 companies, everybody does it differently, right? So one person's going to like working here, one person's going to like working here. Why are there so many different banks in the world, right? Local banks, corporate banks, because somebody likes doing business here and somebody likes doing business here, and everybody does it differently.
Yeah.
Bottom line, the only thing that I want to point out, though, is this. Gary's speaking from years of experience, right? So for him, when he's talking about an abundance mindset, he has been developing that mindset for years and years and years. For you listening, who might be a lot closer to where I am, or even way before where I'm at right now, an abundance mindset is one of the hardest things to do. I struggle with this, like not only with imposter syndrome, an abundance mindset, especially in the market I'm in, because it is not that big. We don't have 200,000 people we could work with that can afford $2 to $5K a month on a podcast investment, right? I struggle with an abundance mindset every single day. And what helps me overcome it is focusing on what I can control, right? And not letting the lack of opportunity stop me. Instead, I try to create opportunity, right? I try to create it. I try to see how can I convert a problem into an opportunity. It's actually one of our core values at the company. We structure it as creativity, but what I explain under being creative is whenever there's a problem, make the problem an opportunity. That's how you can develop an abundance mindset. And I guess that really leads into the next thing, Gary. The 80%.
Before I want to talk, before we go, I want to cover one more thing on that. So something really important for me from an abundance mindset standpoint is looking at everybody as a business partner. So everybody's a business partner. Everybody's somebody that can help my business grow. and how can I help them first? So if you go help other people first and say, how can I help this individual? And eventually that person can be a business partner to us, you will win the world. Like that is the number one way to win, is just give to people first. Say, hey, I'm going to help you. And then how can we be business partners? And that's how we're on this podcast today. So I think that's a big part of having an abundant mindset. I would also say this, if we were, what are those people called phone operators? Remember back in the day, a long time ago, before you and I were born, there was phone operators that had to transfer lines, right? And when the digital phone came out, and your analog phone where you could dial it and go directly to someone's house and dial that number, all of a sudden you didn't need phone operators anymore. So there was two choices, and both mindsets are true. It's whatever one you believe is true. It was, oh no, I'm losing this opportunity for my job. I'm going to lose my job because I can't be an operator anymore. Or there was tons of new opportunities opening up, like secretaries and all these other clerical jobs, because now there's phones. Now there's outbound sales opportunities. Like one opportunity went away, which opened up 100 other opportunities. Then analog phones went away, and then we got these bad boys. And you could be like, well, this is going to change. It's going to be horrible. Or I could look at all the opportunities that no one's even thought of yet. Now we have crypto and all these other Web3. It's just going to keep happening. There's going to be more and more and more opportunities. You just have to, you said it. You got to have the mindset that I'm going to find those opportunities. Not, if you go looking for where there's not opportunities and how horrible everything is, it will be horrible. And if you go in and say, hey, I want to find opportunities to grow and expand, then you'll grow and expand.